What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Cena's Corner channel. Right now, you're looking at Car Dealer Simulator. I'm going to do a full series on this, but there's some things I want to talk to you guys about, like what's going on with the channel, where I've been now that I've come back. Also, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about a game that I will be bringing here and give you my 2 cents on WWE 2K26. So instead of looking at me the whole time, I thought it'd be more fun to see me go around at the end of my day here and play. It is about 11 o'clock in the game. All the employees are home at 8. So I'm just prepping for the next day. We'll put some cards out and things of that nature. So uh, if you haven't seen this game yet, don't worry about this. What it looks like when your dealership is fully up to date. But we're going to be, I was going to say up to date, I say fully upgraded. That's the word. But we're going to be doing a full series on this, so enjoy watching me run around here, setting up cars, and things of that nature. So let's talk about the channel, where I've been, what's going to be going on, and then we're going to talk about WWE 2K26, which I am going to be bringing that game to you as we're speaking now. It's probably about 5 minutes from being released. It'll be midnight here, and about 8 minutes, it'd be midnight here as I am shooting this, and I'm sure it's going to drop at midnight. First thing I want to talk to you guys about where I've been since I come back with the channel. I know there's a lot of things that I said I wanted to bring here, but then I had to go and second guess these things because of what I actually do now, and B, what Cena's Corner channel has always kind of stood for, what we've always done here, and then also oversaturating the market. When I started this 15 years ago, there was not as many creators as there are now that's doing the exact same thing. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's also a good thing because of, what we do and how we do it and things of that nature. But sometimes it could be oversaturation. It also gives you more creators to go and to listen to. And I'll get into a little bit more about creators and who I think you probably should listen to and the whole nine here. All right, in the end of this. So I know before I wanted to bring my whole podcasting over here in the whole nine, and then I was wondering, I'm like, should I do that? There's a number of you that was interested in that. I was doing some reading stuff on another channel, and so I decided that I wanted to keep this pretty much strictly gaming at this point. So what we're gonna do with that is basically I'm gonna bring you games like these. We're gonna do a full series of this game, which is awesome. We're going to bring you some 2K26 over here. And basically, now that I am the age that I'm at, I'm not really that big into shooting stuff anymore. And I'll tell you guys why here in a minute. But, AAA titles, I don't know where I'm going here. But AAA titles is, I think, starting to get outshone by some of the smaller titles or games that's not considered to be a AAA title at all. And there's reasons for that. But I'm more into what they now call cozy gaming. Believe it or not, this is what they call cozy gaming, is simulators. I play a lot of them. I have a lot of them to bring to you to the channel. They're relaxing games. They're usually not really full of chaos. This game could get a little chaotic sometimes, depending on what it is that you are doing, which you'll see that when I actually run my full day here at 8 o'clock in the morning. But these are cozy gaming. These games are meant to relax you and meant to give you something to play long term, and hopefully you have fun with. These actually brings the fun back in gaming. So what we're gonna do with this channel is I'm doing what they call gaming, or if you want to call it cozy gaming, for mental health. There's a lot going on in the world today, and a lot of people turn to games to ease their tension and their anxiety, and they like to play. Sometimes they like to see other people play and just talk about things of the world. And so that's what we're gonna do here on this channel. We're gonna talk about the game. We're gonna talk about games. We're gonna talk about the games I'm currently playing. I'm gonna put out certain details to you like I've always done, and then we're gonna have maybe sometimes some honest conversations. I will say this, unless it is something that is directly affecting the world, which I know right now politics all over the world is. I don't talk a lot about politics. It does cause fights, and there's people that has different opinions. I think the one opinion that we all can share is the world is definitely not going in the way that we want it to right now. But I tend to stay away from political discussions, unless, again, like I said, it has something directly to do with the world in fairness. Like, for instance, the Reverend Jesse Jackson just passed away. I feel it was very unfair that he did not get to lie in state. And that's where I will leave it. I'm not going to tell you why I believe he didn't get to lie in state, or I should say in honor, because in state is for somebody that's actually, like a congressman or a president. Lying in honor is for civilians. I think the first civilian that lied in honor was Rosa Parks when she passed. But then I'll leave it kind of at that, because of the fact that I don't want to stir any mess up with people. I don't want you to get turned from the channel. So that's where we are with that. So that's what we will do when it comes to those things. Man, my mechanics have not finished a lot of these. So if you look onto the right side, as I'm playing, you see that 79%. All of my cars should be 100% before I put them down here. Sometimes you do got to double check them. Maybe they left in the day, so I got to start making sure I double check them. So I have to pull them up to have those fixed. But so that's what we're gonna do. I hope you guys will tune in for that. With work schedule and everything, I'm gonna try to get you a video once a week, if not once every other week. Just stay tuned. We're gonna walk through some of these games, and the reason I'm deciding to do this is because I always say, if you have a problem with something, you can either sit back and complain about it, or you can do something about it. Well, I have the power to do something about it. And I do feel that some of these influencers, or creators as they call us both, are not really being honest with you, or they want to impose their way on you. I'm going to show you how I play and tell you to do what you want to do. I'm not going to say, don't go get this. And there's a number of people that says, well, don't do this and don't do that. Well, I don't agree with that, especially if you're not going to back up why you shouldn't do that. Like when I do the full series of this game, I'm going to tell you that there's a creator that actually said that there's an upgrade for the gas hub. The gas hub puts a gas tank. One upgrade puts a gas tank on your property. The other one puts a gas tank in an air station on your property. Well, he came up and was saying, you shouldn't buy that. It's not worth your time. It's going to cost you $70,000 for the tanker. Okay, so he's saying that it's going to hurt you because it's going to cost you the upgrade, which is, I can't remember. We get back to it. It's been a while since I did it, but I think it's like anywhere between $10,000 and $30,000 to upgrade that. And then he's like, well, yeah, you're going to go buy the upgrade. Then you got to buy a tanker for $70,000, put gas in. This is true, but he's not telling you the effects of that, right? He's not showing you why that's bad or why you should not do it. He's just telling you, you don't want to do this. So I decided to say, okay, well, I love these games, and I think there's a reason for you to do these things. And I'm going to tell you why you should or why you shouldn't do it. But I'm not going to say, don't go do it. I'm going to say, this is what I found. I think that you should not do this. And I'm going to give you a reason behind that. And a lot of that reason behind it is going to be something that I've done, right? So I've tested it out. I've tried it out. It didn't work out as well as I thought that it should. So I want to let you know, hey, before you fall into this pit, and let me let you know you don't want to do this because of this. So that leads me. So that's where the channel is going to go. All right. So we're going to do those things. If you guys have seen me here before, if you've been to the channel before, you know how I operate. I'm very ethical. I'm not in it for myself. I'm not in it for the money. If I tell you something, you can take it to the bank that it's gospel. If I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. I'm not going to get you to go out and buy something that's bad, because that's not who I am. And just to give you that little introduction, if you are new to the channel, if you look around, some of the older videos I've done is still there. Well over 100 or so videos that I've done on Rock Band. I was one of the biggest Rock Band influencers, if not the biggest, when Rock Band was up and alive, even to the point to where Harmonix gave me my own title on their website called Hardware Guru, because I was letting you know about the hardware. Everything that you touched back in those days that came to your home for you to play the game of Rock Band, especially if it's third party, it came through my house first. And I built up kind of a following here on YouTube with that. Unfortunately, the rhythm game era, well, before I say that, I should say, and I was the only one that I built the first ever all plastic instrumental team called Team Cena. That was something new in the industry, and it did cause a huge rift. I won't go through the rift, but I mean, everybody wanted to clone it. Everybody wanted to redo it. There was a lot of jealousy. I had trolls, you know, the usual YouTube thing. Unfortunately, the rhythms game community is not what it is anymore. A lot of the people that I dealt with at Harmonix is not there no more. Harmonix is an altogether different company. I don't even know if any of the cats that I dealt with is even there. I know for a fact John Drake is not there anymore, and I think Helen is gone. But I think just about everybody that was there, maybe except for the founders and the owners, is no longer there. For all I know, they could be gone. I haven't really followed up with them because I did try to reach out to Harmonix as it changed, and I'm just gonna put it out there. It was not as friendly a time as it was previously before. Okay. And I'm not gonna lie to you about that. So now that that era has come and gone, if you guys probably know, I don't think Harmonix is even going to make Rock Band anymore. They're not gonna add to it. They pretty much killed that idea. I think middle of last year, and then they put the game into Fortnite. So basically, nothing's the same there. So then rhythm gaming kind of dried up. Some of your favorite people that you knew, like some guy, and I buy pretty hard. Or some guy went off. He got married. He has a child now. I don't know what's going on with Lee, who you knew as I buy pretty hard. A lot of people is still here. A lot of people's gone. Annex has moved to the United States. If you guys remember her, so a lot of things change. And like I said, I am going, rhythm gaming is my heart. So I am going to be looking out to see what is going on with Red Octane. I told you guys when I came back, Red Octane is saying they're making a new rhythm game that's going to come out, and they want everybody to be a part of that. And so I want to be a part of that too as well. I did tell you about one of their guitars. The reason I haven't done that review yet is because I want to make sure where they're going, right? Because right now, if you do buy the guitar, well, I mean, if you still currently have your Rock Band or your Guitar Hero setup or things of that nature, I believe the guitar does work for that. They made like I think 3 different versions, one for Xbox, one for PC, one for the PlayStation. So they got you all covered there. But I don't want to put something in your hands and then come back and pretty much say, well, they was gonna make a game, but they didn't. So now you got to use your old Rock Band stuff, or you got to go and play on the PC if you have one and get Clone Hero or not yet another rhythm game or something of that nature. I don't want to do that. So I'm on the lookout now to see what's gonna go on with them and how that's going to all play out, and then I'm gonna come with a review on that. So let's get on to what I want to talk to you guys about: influencers and WWE 2K26. I was a huge fan of the game. I kind of do still like the game, but let's talk about some things which they're doing that's making everybody mad. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I think that's enough. First, let's talk about influencers. I want to warn you guys against influencers that get paid to tell you what you should do, shouldn't do, and all that kind of stuff. Influencers that tell you to go buy certain games and maybe the game isn't what it should be. In this world of YouTube, there's still those out there that will bow down to the almighty dollar and lie to you because of that. And there's a young man, I can't remember his whole name. I want to say his name is Malcolm. Malcolm has a YouTube channel. And if his name's not right, I'll tell you in another episode, but I'll also link his channel in this video. Malcolm's YouTube channel basically is all about influencers. He talks about influencers that he feels is scamming you, influencers that's not being honest, and he calls them all by name. He's about as bold as I am, right? He's not going to sit back and sugarcoat it. He's going to tell you if you follow this person, they're lying to you because they're getting paid. And he's actually put me up on game about a couple of influencers that I watch in the cozy game community. You know, people I didn't even think was taken, as we called it back in the day, payola. Before I can say, if this is too loud, I'll see when I edit it, and then you guys can let me know too in the comments. I'll be sure to turn it down next time. I have turned it down quite a bit, but just want to make sure it's not too loud for you guys. But anyways, yeah, back in the day, DJs called it payola. You know, you would get paid to say these things are good. Well, he made a comment that I did not agree with, and I know where he's coming from, and I know a lot of people is like that. But I haven't checked about. I know I still have about 4,000 of you guys left here. We're gonna try to build that back up. Right. But the statement he kind of made, and I'm paraphrasing, so don't quote me verbatim, but what he kind of said was that he didn't think that any influencer could take any money without being obligated. It's pretty much what he said. Okay, that You should not be taking anything from these companies, whether it's money, whether it's games, whether it's codes, because once you do that, you are compromised, so to speak, right? You are at their mercy. You have to say things are good if things are not. I disagree with that. Now, I don't know about everybody else. That's never been me. And if you guys have ever followed my channel for any length of time, you know that wasn't me. When it comes to those type of things, I tell the developers or whoever's making whatever directly, yo, this is what's going to happen with this review. If it's good, I'm going to tell you it's good. I'm going to tell the people it's good. I'm going to tell them they should go buy it. If it's bad, I'm going to tell you it's bad and why it's bad. I've never been compromised. And I've never taken money either. Okay, so let's talk about the things that I have received. If you guys never knew, and I was really upfront about the things that I did giving people. When we got to third parties like Rock Band pads and Destroyer pedals and things of that nature, Destroyer pedal was done absolutely free. He was the one pedal that went out long before everybody else did in the Rock Band community. He was the first one to make a pedal for Rock Band out of a real pedal. I covered it and I told people, hey, go buy this pedal. The owner of the Destroyer pedal didn't pay me a dime to say any of that. It was a good pedal, and I wanted to let you guys know, if your plastic one is breaking, here's your alternative. But I did take, there's some, when it came to, I think, Rock Band pads, they insisted on paying me. And I told them, I don't want to take any money because I believe that if you are taking money from people, then people feel like that whatever you say, if it's good, that you are compromised because you took money. So they said, okay, so can we give you some Xbox points? I said, all right. So I settled for that. Everything I told you about Rock Band pads was absolutely 100% true. Never lied to you about it at all. Told you to get them, told you what they did, told you what they didn't do. These people that made Rock Band pads at the time wrote me and said, man, your review is better than any can review we can get out there. And they sold like thousands of these pads. Okay. And there's never been a time that anybody's ever written me and said, yo, David or Cena. Well, that was good. And said to me, yo, David or Cena, I went and bought these things and they were absolutely horrible. No one's ever said that. No one's ever accused me of lying. No one's ever said that I told them that it was something that it wasn't. I still have comments on these videos to these days. You guys can take a look at that. And yes, they gave me Rock Band points, or not Rock Band points, Microsoft points. You know, this is back in the day what I call the illusion of money, right? Because this was the most brilliant thing that Xbox ever came up with, was because the fact that you went and you bought an Xbox card, $50 at a time. It wasn't coming out of your bank account. So since you didn't see the $50 leaving here and there, you just figured it was just on a card. The fact of the matter is, you're spending money. I probably spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, and to be honest, in Rock Band cards, or I'm sorry, in Xbox point cards. Every time my wife went out, want me to get you something? Yeah, man, give me $50 card. There were sometimes I was sitting here with $300, $400, $500 worth of Xbox points just chilling. So if you really look at it in real world times, if I got $500 worth of Rock Band, or what I keep want to call them Rock Band points, if I got $500 worth of Xbox cards sitting here, you know, that's $500 in real cash that I have sitting across the street right there on my desk. And then when Microsoft finally decided that they were going to allow everybody just to spend real money, I'm sure that declined, because now we know how much money we're actually spending because we can see it come out of our bank accounts. But anyway, I say all that to say that Malcolm shouldn't say, well, all, because he's never met me. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but you guys who know me know what I'm about to say is true. I'm one of the most honest people out here when it comes to influencing or telling you what's good or what's not. I've never lied to anybody. I won't lie to anybody. I won't do that now, or I've never done that before. But he started putting out some of these influencers I forget the name of the game, but there was some game that came out that was, I guess, really bad. And one influencer, can't see, I think it's on the side, was saying how bad and horrible that it was. And the other one was saying how good that it was. I'm trying to find the gas door, people. It's up here in the front. That's why I look all crazy right now. It blends into this car. Here we go. Some of them in the front, some of them in the back. But anyways, they finally wrote to him and said, "Hey, how come your review?" And I forget the name of the girl, but I've watched her several times. It says, "Hey, how come your review is vastly different from hers?" And all he did was basically point to the sign, and he actually highlighted it and put it in as a clip in this video, and said, "You got to beware." Some to the point of, you got to beware of these type of influencers. And what it was he had copied the thing that says that this video has a paid promotion. What he was trying to say was that, hey, some of these influencers that you watch that has this in there, they're saying whatever it takes to get them that money, because of the fact that they've already pretty much went out there and said, hey, I'm getting paid for this. So what he was alluding to was that his review was vastly different than this girl's, because of the fact that he was not paid to say what he said, and that he was gonna be honest, and he was gonna tell you everything that you needed to know based on what he had experienced when it came to the game. Now I want you to keep in mind that he did not even mention the name of this person. Okay, he didn't say what her name was, didn't say the name of her channel. So the only reason, or the only way you would know who this person is if she decided to rat herself out, what is exactly what she did. She, I think, did like a 2 or 3 hour video on this guy, calling him out and bashing him. So what I'm doing right now is to let you guys know I'm walking around at 7:33. All of my employees should be in here in a few minutes. We'll get them going. You'll see what a productive day looks like when you have your shop fully upgraded here. It's a movable grind. All you're doing is moving around. This is your parts machine. It's a lifesaver because you can refurbish all your parts. Now, one thing I'll tell you about this game is, you see me clicking all these individually. There's 20 pieces because I hate when I click it. There's 20 pieces. Each machine holds 20 pieces at a time. So you get 40 pieces done at one time when you fill them up. The reason that I click on all of those and move them this way is because of my license plates. If I say move all of these things move, and I have to go back and dig through to find my license plates again. The one thing I think I wish the devs would do is what they do, what you're about to see me do now, and find a way that either we can lock those or not transfer them. So let me count these 3. Reason being is, you're going to see now that when I go back into the parts machine, I'm going to just tell it to transfer this stuff over and say move all. Actually, where'd it go? Oh, I forgot to push the button to send them. I'm not with it this morning, people. Forgive me. Make sure you get exactly 20. That's 20. All right, so now we moved them. Let's try this again. So now I'm gonna say move all. Everything goes but the license plates. So I hope the devs would do that. It'll make life a lot easier. Also, if we can bring our truck in and deliver the storage that we have in the truck, that also would be a lot easier too. So back to what I was saying, she did a 2 or 3 hour video just on this guy, pretty much berating him, saying that, you know, what he said ain't true, and, you know, how dare him say these things. Now, again, I forgot to take those out. Nobody knew who she was. Okay, understand that. I didn't know who she was until Malcolm said, here is the person, and then started showing off all these tweets of what was going on and what was being said. I had no clue. But there are influencers that are telling you, hey, these things are good, go buy them. And this game, from what I had saw, was horrible. I mean, it had all kinds of glitches. It had all kinds of problems that needed to be fixed. And one of the other influencers that I follow, she actually came out with a review and said, yeah, these things are horrible. Don't go do that. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I lost count. But so basically, he's right when it comes to that. But he made the generality and said all influencers. And you cannot do that, because I don't do that. I don't compromise. I never will. And you guys know that to be true. So that leads me to WWE 2K26 and what I want to tell you guys about that. This is the first year that I bought the game, I should say, at least, that I did not buy the full edition, meaning the $150 edition. And there's a number of us that play the game that didn't. If you want me to be honest, there's a love affair between 2K and those of us that play this game. Because there's been some years the game has been absolutely horrible, and there's some games where the game has been pretty good, and now they've made the boneheaded decision that I'm about to tell you about right now. And when I come to talk to you about influencers that don't stand by what they say, or I should say that don't give you honest and ethical reviews, here it is. Because every one of the influencers that was flown out to Creator Fest, they got flown out to New York. They was taken up to an hour away from where they was at to go to Stamford, Connecticut, to the WWE headquarters. They got to play the game early. They got to meet the developers of the game. They're not saying anything. Now that 2K is being berated, they're not saying anything. They're not admitting to the things that they know is bad. That's not an influencer. You make what I do horrible, because people's going to wonder, can they trust me? Because you're not telling the honest to God truth. None of them are saying anything. Let me tell you the truth. I didn't pick up 2K25 up until about a month ago. And my daughter looked at me and said, "Dad, are you sick?" Because the fact of the matter is, I'm always picking that game up, right? And I'm always buying the full-blown edition. Now, back in the day when you bought that $150 edition of the game, you was privy to a lot of stuff, right? You got a lot of unlockables out the gate. There were some wrestlers that you got because you got that tier. Oh, you bought that big package. You got to play the game 7 days early. I'll tell you, for the first time I bought the game, it was really odd for me to sit here and watch everybody put their videos up 6-7 days ago, because I've never ever had to wait. I've always had it 6 days early. And then when I was going to pre-order it, my daughter actually pre-ordered it for me because she said, "Dad, I'm gonna get the game for you because I know you like the game." And then she looked at me and goes, "What edition do you want me to pre-order?" And I said, excuse me. I looked at her and I said, "Just go ahead and give me their standard edition." And she looked at me like she saw a foreigner. Let me go out and make sure my transporter's gone. In this game, when we get to this part, I do my walkthrough. You see my transporter is now gone. I interacted with this screen and clicked on 7 cards. It only holds 7 cards at a time. He's come back. Here's your receptionist. He will go out and grab cards for you if you do that, including cards from the junkyard or piles that you get emailed about that you found. So that's what I'm running around doing, waiting for them to get done. Usually I have a big, long bottleneck of cards, but I kind of clean that. And then some of the cards we have coming out here, I'm going to put on the front line. I took some from my reserve that you saw in the underground, and then the other ones I'm going to put out as we take them from here and take them off the transporter. I want to let you guys know what I'm doing so you don't think I'm glitching out over here. But anyways, yeah, so when it comes to 2025, she let me think I was sick. She's like, "Are you sure that's the one that you want?" And I said, yeah, for 2 reasons. One, I am a big CM Punk fan. Now, there are some things that CM Punk did over his career, like everybody else in the world, I did not totally agree with, right? But I've always been a Punk fan. And when now that they're giving him what I think his just desserts is due in the WWE, and they mentioned that he was going to be the cover athlete, I was all in. Here's the problem with that, and I've always had this problem with these games. I feel if you are the cover athlete should be able to appear on all of the games. Now, I don't have them in front of me, so don't quote me. I don't remember all of the names of the tiers, because as I'm telling you, I didn't really pay attention after certain things happen I'm going to talk about. But, you know, there's, I think, $90 game. It goes all the way up to $150. But every time, and I think that's the King of Kings edition, which is the $150 one, I believe. Then you have the Attitude Era one, which I think is the one in the middle. Triple H has been on too many game covers, bruh. I'm just going to let you guys know that. Also, if you see this, it's starting to glitch. That is something to do with some of the updates. The devs of this game does a fantastic job of actually keeping up with the bugs. We'll talk a lot about that when I do this series walkthrough. I wanted to let you know it's not my computer. My computer is a beast. and it runs all these games fabulously. It has to do with a lot of updates that Garage Monkey is making at the time. But anyways, so I'm like, selfishly, I want CM Punk to be on the cover of my game. Even if I'm going to get it digitally, I want CM Punk to be on the cover of the game. And I said, secondly, from what I'm hearing, I'm not about to give 2K all this money if they're not going to give me at least adequate to what we had before. Let me explain what I mean by that. So it used to be when you bought the Ultimate Edition of 2K, and let's say there's that $150 one that everybody goes out and buys, you got a bunch of stuff with that, right? So you got certain unloadables, you got certain unlockables, you got certain WWE superstars, maybe you got certain titles. All this stuff was free because you have bought the biggest edition of the game. There was no need for you to have to go and to purchase these like everybody else would, right? So you felt like you got something for your 150, okay? So if you wanted that copy of Ultimate Warrior, they may say, hey, if you get the 150 edition, not only are you gonna get Ultimate Warrior, but we're gonna give you Ultimate Warrior in 1991. We're gonna give you another persona of his that happened in, whatever the years was. You got a bunch of stuff. You did not have to grind for these things because you paid for them, okay? Also, you were also paying, if you didn't want any of that stuff, you're paying for the privilege to have the game 6 days early, which for a lot of people was enough to say, yeah, give me that so I can play the game before anybody else gets our hands on it. Well, 2K got greedy. They pulled the same thing that I'm going to say EA did. And the reason why I stopped playing Madden altogether. They did not care about the fans anymore. They cared about their pocketbook. So if you ever played Madden and you played the Ultimate Team, which is mainly what I played on John Madden's football, you would know that when Ultimate Team first began, it was all about us, the consumer, right? Now, I'm not saying they gave everything for free, but you didn't feel like you had to go and buy anything. So because of that, hey, you was willing to spend money on packs. I did. You was willing to go out and spend money, in October like I did every year because I would buy whatever the breast cancer packs was to support breast cancer. You didn't feel obligated. You didn't feel like that if you didn't buy something, it was not going to advance you in the game. But now EA changed that to where everything was about money. Even if you bought their ultimate tier of their game, you still have to spend a significant amount of money if you want to get certain things. And the way they did things, I didn't agree with it because basically somebody can go out and spend $200 and the same team that you grinded for, they would have that team, Deion Sanders and, Barry Sanders and all of those guys would just be there right out the gate. And then they already would have a 92 to 99 team before the game even began. And I'm like, that's not cool. But now 2K is doing the same thing. They decided they wanted to come out with a battle pass. And with this battle pass, it was the same thing as anything else. Hey, if you buy the top tier edition of the game, we're going to give you the battle pass for free. And when they came out with the battle pass thing, that's when I said to my daughter, hold up. They come out with a battle pass. I mean, they're about to turn this game into a complete money grind. Let me do some more research. Now I said, maybe if I decide to go with the bigger edition, that maybe I can go ahead and cancel this pre-order and then we'll get another one. Now, I don't know how that works with Steam because I should say now for the second time, because I did get 2K25 on the PC as well. And this is the second time I'll do that, only because it makes it easier for me if I'm going to do videos on it to do it through my PC other than my console right now. Okay. But I'm hearing there's problems with that, which we get to that in a minute. But anyways, I said, I've already decided to change my mind. I said, but I have a feeling that this is not going to end in the way that I think that it should. And I think there's going to be more money involved. So let me do some research. And boy, am I glad that I did. So basically, as information was coming out, it was becoming quite apparent that it didn't matter if you bought the top tier of the game. Didn't matter if you bought the $150 edition of the game, because now for the things you bought, you paid $150 for now you are going to have to do like everybody else that didn't buy that. You're going to have to grind to get it. So basically you paid $150 for the right to grind. All of those superstars is behind the battle pass in 2025, 2024, 2023, and all early games beyond would have been free to you. Okay, you'd have opened it up. They'd be like, congratulations, thank you for buying, the top tier of this pass, and boom, they would have given you all that stuff for absolutely free. Not anymore. So now basically you just pay for the privilege to have the season pass. Season pass is gonna come to you, or the battle pass is gonna come to you, and it is tied with a season pass as well. But you're gonna have to grind like everybody else. Yes, sir. You got to go and play the whole game. You got to do everything that everybody else who didn't buy is supposed to do. So why am I going to give you $150 if I'm not going to get these things that I should get that I've gotten in the past for absolutely free? That you're going to make me do what everybody else do, which is grind for the right to have these unlockables, which is part of the reason why I paid you for that, because I didn't necessarily want to do that. And there's other perks for me to get the game. People are mad all over the country about this. People are upset because they're like, okay, so now you're going to make this a pay to win. But it gets worse. It gets worse. Now, if you don't want to do that, so let's just say, all right, man, look, I really don't want to do all of this. Is there a way around it? Let me tell you, folks, there's a way around it. It's called tier skips. There is 40 levels or 40 tiers in the Battle Pass this year. You have to unlock all 40 to get all of the things that they have in there, all of the items. There's going to be superstars. There's going to be belts, all kinds of stuff that's going to be there. You can skip all of those for a price. Let's just say that if you want to pay an additional $80, you can skip all the tiers. Now, at this point, you're about $230 into the game? You pay $230 for the right and the privilege to play this game because you've already bought the $150 edition. Now we're going to spend another $80. That ain't worth it. So it's better if you wouldn't bought just the straight core edition, right? So you just to get the straight basic edition, because basically you now can choose what you want in the battle pass, if anything. And then on top of that, well, I'm not out as much money as everybody else because I only paid 60 bones for my game at this point. You guys are $150 in. And now a lot of people that bought that edition is upset because they're like, we would have known this, we wouldn't have bought this. The industry of gaming is becoming a money grab. Everybody wants you to pay for the right to do the things or to play the way you want to play when you've already paid the ultimate price by buying the game in the first place. Buying the game used to be enough. It is not anymore. And like I said, all of these influencers, that's WWE influencers, the people that should be telling you, I don't like this, the people that has the ear of not only 2K, but WWE the most, the people that can move that needle to say, hey, the things that you are doing is not right. Here's what it's going to cost in the bottom line. They are saying absolutely nothing. You know why they're not saying anything? Because they got flown out to Creator Fest. They posted videos, male and females alike. All right, so they just say, man, male and female influencers alike. They got flown out. They got this big old party bag. They got to go smooth with Liv Morgan, and they got to see and take pictures with CM Punk, and they got the big introduction when they went to WWE headquarters, and Triple H, I'm sure some of them met. That's why they're not saying anything to you, because they want to stay in the good graces of 2K. They want to be asked back next year. It is more important to them to go and smooth and bump elbows and meet superstars. Man, I get it. If you're a wrestling fan, meeting superstars is like one of the most ultimate things you can do. And it's everybody's dream to meet at least one. I've been able to meet three. I've actually shook Kurt Angle's hand. Okay, so I know what that feeling is like when you want to meet some of your influencers, or I'm sorry, some of your favorite wrestlers. But it should never be at the cost of your integrity. It should never mean you have to lie or sit back and see something that is totally not ethical go down and say nothing. But they're not saying anything. Matter of fact, some of them's all on Twitter praising this battle pass. Talking about some, man, you know, this is awesome. I don't know why everybody's having a problem with it. Well, let me tell you one other thing they did, which is now pissing everybody off. So I know that the influencers want to share these things with you, but I've always said the moment you guys put these things on video, it's going to be taken down or something's going to be patched. So the moment I heard this exploit to get around having to play long matches. Okay, so just to let you know, to get some of these battle passes, you got to pay, or to get some of these things unlocked, you've got to play areas of the game to get these unlocked. One of them, you know, of course, is going to be CM Punk story mode. And it's to the point to where some of these playthroughs is going to take you an hour, hour and a half. So everybody's like did what the community always does. What can we do to lessen this, right? So what can we do to make this quicker? Whoops, I'm running my own cars. So they came out with, I wouldn't necessarily say an exploit, because an exploit is something that's not built into the game. This is actually built into the game. So they're like, hey, if you guys go in and turn your settings down to these things and grab anybody, grab any superstar you want to, turn them down to a level 30 and turn down basically their the ability to reverse things, then basically you'll be 15 seconds. Now, this is still going to take you about 45 minutes to an hour to do, right? But the thing is that since it's going a little quicker, hey, you'll take this exploit. But 2K didn't like that. So these people going in here, they're winning matches in like 15 seconds. But they had to rinse and repeat this. So since there's one of these matches in 15 seconds, the one thing I said is this bug is going to get patched, and it's going to get patched before the full game came out. Well, guess what? It got patched yesterday. And they've taken away the ability to do that. Now, they didn't tell you couldn't do it, but here's what they told you. They said, hey, if any match lasts longer or lasts shorter than 60 minutes or 60 seconds, you will not get the extra XP, because see, you got XP for completing the stage or for winning the match, and then you got extra XP on top of that. Well, they're saying, hey, you're not gonna get the extra XP. So I think without the extra XP, you only get like 30 RXP points. So yeah, so they tuned it down, and they tried to call it cheating, right? But in so many words, it's just some things like that they have been monitoring and realizing that people were not playing the game in the way that it was intended to play to have fun or something like that. So basically saying that the game was being exploited. We're gonna wait for my truck here because I want to show you something else that I wish the devs would change and hopefully do in time with my delivery here. But anyways, so they took that ability away, made everybody else mad, because obviously to do it that way too is not fun, but it's quicker. So they've taken the fun out of the game by making it a money grind. And that's exactly what they've done. All right, so here's what I wanted to show you. My receptionist, depending on what he's doing, should come out here and he will grab these boxes. I think he's way over there. But you can see I can only grab one box at a time. I'm running this back because I need to get him on the car. We ran out of brake calipers. So he's gonna walk all the way back through the shop. Then he's gonna go around. He's gonna grab those other boxes. Here's what I wish the dev would take. As you can see, I can only take one box at a time. That is it. And that holds like 5 brake pads. I'm gonna take one box at a time. Dude, though, is gonna be able to move all 2 boxes. He can carry up to 3 boxes at a given time. And if he's out here already, you'll see him come around the corner. He's slower than molasses when he gets here. So he hasn't came yet. Here he comes right now. I have it I have packages, I think, second or third on his priority list. So what his job would do is he would drive the transporter, pick up cars. He will go in and change the parts machine. So he'd take the new parts out and put the old parts back in to refurbish, and then he goes and gets packages. Now watch bro grab both of these packages. Boom, look at that. So I hope Garage Boogie's listening. I would love to be able to carry 2 or 3 boxes at a time without having to drag a truck over here. Or we could just add something like a dolly to the game, or what people also call as a hand truck. We can move multiple things at one time. It would save us a lot of time. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So yeah, it turned into that money grind. That's why I didn't buy it. Now, if I was to go and spend $80 to skip some tears, I may not be as upset right now because I didn't give 2K $150 of my money for them to tell me that I had the privilege of paying them more if I don't want to grind on this game. So that's why I didn't get that big edition. The reason why I didn't get 2K25 until like a month ago, I don't know, man. There were so many things that was going on with 2K. 2024 was not that great. Yes, I really wanted to play the island and stuff because of Roman Reigns, but I'm like, is it really worth it this year? The reason I ended up getting it a month ago was because of the mode that I'm going to bring you. Now, we're probably going to play different modes in the game, but my favorite mode of this game has to be GM mode. And I think my game has glitched. All right, so my game glitched here. You can see because I just think, oh, there we go. Came back. Sometimes the game glitches where you can't get the drive emblem back over there, and so you can't get in your car and drive it away. But anyways, as I was saying, GM mode is my favorite mode of the game. And I was looking, there's a bunch of other games that are wrestling games or wrestling management simulator games that was coming up on the PC, and I seen a bunch of people doing reviews on it. I'm like, hey, let me go check some of these out. But I don't know how you guys feel about this, but this is my opinion. Nobody really does the GM mode quite like 2K Sports and WWE. And I know I'm dragging this here, needs to go in the vault. And when I looked at some of these other, yeah, there's a lot of variety, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things I could change. There's a lot of things I could do that I could not do in 2K, WWE, 2K25, 4, 6, whatever one. But just the authentic overall feel of GM mode, being a general manager, running a show, you know, things of that nature just didn't feel quite the same with these games. So that's why a month ago I said, you know, I really miss playing GM mode. Let me go ahead and purchase it. And I got it on sale because we were getting closer, about a month away from having 2K26 drop, which means that they're going to lessen the game. As you can see, I no longer have any workers. This is because they go home pronto at 6 o'clock unless they're in the middle of a job. So then what I start doing now is I start staging for the next day and things of that nature. Just let you guys know what I'm doing here. But anyways, so that's why I've been playing GM mode. And I was trying to think of new ways in which to play it. And so I'll introduce this here now, and I'll say it more at the top of the video when we do start doing GM mode. I was looking around to see how people was playing this game, right? It's the same game. There's a number of us that's going to be playing this game. There's a number of us that love GM mode. We want to bring you how we do it. We want to show you how it's done. And I'm like, everybody's playing GM mode and everybody's doing it the same, right? Because it's just the same mode. So I was like, what other way can I do to spice this up? And so I was like, you know what? Being a GM is like running a war room. If you really look at how booking and stuff is done really in the WWE, you know that there is a bunch of people that makes all these decisions. And Triple H basically, even though he gives his own opinions, is the man that says yes or no, right? If you watch any shows that they're showing you how things is being booked, you know that this to be the truth. So I'm like, I play this game by myself. What if I did have kind of a war council? What if I could have somebody that would be here that would say yes, no, or give me other ideas? So I'm not out here by myself doing this. And so I'm like, hey, I wonder if anybody's ever played this game using ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT has come a long way over the last couple of years. I've used ChatGPT for a number of things to help me refine lyrics to songs that I've written, things of that nature. And so I started looking around YouTube. I'm like, has anybody done this? So I went to YouTube and searched for, WWE 2K25 or 24, whichever one, GM mode using Chat GPT. Found nothing. Nothing. So then I was like, well, let me try this out and let me see if how it works and if it ever be worth it. Man, let me tell you, playing with ChatGPT was fun. And I was sitting here going, how come no one else has done this? So I'm like, I can't believe no one else has used ChatGPT in no aspects at all. So I started searching WWE 2K25 ChatGPT. What I found was there is a number of people that uses ChatGPT to play universe mode. If you never played universe mode is a whole entire mode where you produce everything, right? From the show to the entrances to how many shows a year to which pay-per-views you're going to have. You can even pick this year what month you want to start. So if you want to start a Halloween Havoc, you can start your season in October. You couldn't do that before. So people was actually using ChatGPT to script their storylines for them and see who they should draft. And I'm like, how come no one's doing this for GM mode? Because when I was running it, I was like, dude, it was a wealth of information, right? ChatGPT not only help you make decisions, but it told you why it thinks that you should use what it's telling you, right? So like if I say, hey, John Cena's mad and he's telling me that if I don't pay him $100,000, he's going to leave. You want to do ChatGPT, they may come back and be like, all right, let's look. And it'll give you the current rundown. John Cena currently is in a 4-star feud. He's feuding with CM Punk right now. He's in your men's division, being one of the top men that's there. Yeah, you want to go ahead and pay him the $100,000 because if you don't, you're going to lose him. You don't want to lose Cena. That's what it'll give you a full breakdown of why you should do what you do or why you shouldn't do a certain thing. Here's another glitch. Look at that. I just took the car off and look, it's all up in the air. That's kind of funny. And of course, it's not one that's going to be moved. But, so, I like that. I found one guy. And the guy kind of made me mad because he was making fun of ChatGPT, right? So basically, he pretty much went and said, hey, I'm going to do the draft. This is what I want. These are the wrestlers. This is how many wrestlers I need to get, so on and so forth. That's all he told ChatGPT. Then he went on to say, after he did all this draft, he went to ChatGPT and said, hey, pick my champions. So I guess ChatGPT started picking people that was not even on the roster. People that ChatGPT did not even suggest him to pick. And he's like, y'all say ChatGPT is so smart. It's picking people that aren't even on the roster. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. A lot of people feel that AI is going to take over the world. No, AI is not going to take over the world. Because I have to remind ChatGPT as a AI certain things that should just be in its database about the game. And you'll see that when I play through with ChatGPT. But what's the one thing that you have to do to make ChatGPT, Gemini, or any of the other ones you use give you a proper spit out of information you want? If you said prompts, you're right. This guy didn't give ChatGPT any prompts. It just said, hey, I want to draft 10 male superstars, 10 female superstars, and now you're relying on ChatGPT to go in and use its database of wherever it's getting it from, right? Because it pulls things from the web, it'll pull things from WWE.com. So basically, it's just going to pull whatever it sees. And even in my case, sometimes it was recommending superstars to be that is no longer with the company. I say, hey, I know you pulled this from this site, but Ricochet is no longer with the company. He left back at this time. All right. But he's giving it no prompts. And he's making fun of it. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a series where we're playing using ChatGPT. I'm going to show you guys how it's done from beginning to end. And if you decide to play like this, you will find it's a lot of fun. It's actually like talking to a human person. I'm bouncing all these ideas off of ChatGPT, and I don't feel like I'm crazy. Because if you watch me play these games, I'm talking to myself. Okay, so The Rock versus CM Punk. Does this make any sense? Where should we put him at? Should we put him first match? Should we put him at the last? Because you're gonna find out if you never played this game before, there is a thing called a curve. You have to hit the match curve. And what that means is your opener and your closer should be the two strongest matches that you have. If you have an opener and it gets blown away by a mid match, they give you what they call poor opener, because they're like, hey, you confused the crowd. Your opener was worse than what one of your mid cards was. This card's transmission issues, so that's why it's going this slow. If you have a good opener, but you have a mid card that totally takes out your finale, your main event, it's gonna come back and give you poor main event. If both mid matches just totally outshone your whole card, then you're going to get poor or bad booking. So you have to hit what they call the drama curve. All right. So you're running all these things through ChatGPT, and it's going to spit out for you all of these results and what you think you should do. So I did do a chat with ChatGPT not long ago, and I asked it, hey, do you think it's cheating if somebody does these things? And of course it said no. He goes, I'm not playing the game. It says, and then it came back and said, hey, everybody has a war room in sports. Right? He says, if you look at sports today, they have analysts, they have financial people, they have bookers, they have agents. All of these people work in tandem with each other just to get you somewhere to get a good show. What you're looking at right now is sometimes you'll get special deals. Some of these cards run, some of them don't. But for the price they're offering to you, if you have the money, they're worth taking, because you're going to spend very little and you're going to make a lot of money back. So in this case, this Max guy wants to sell me this van for $11,254. I'm going to go ahead and accept it. And hopefully that it runs, or we have to tow it. But the way it looks like it might run. And look at that. See, the car is not drivable, so we have to actually move it. So I want to let you guys know what that was. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Give me what I was saying. But anyway, I think it's talking about the drama curves. You have to hit that drama curve. If not, you get that poor booking. So ChatGPT runs you through all of that, man. It's going to give you everything full stock, what you should do, what you should do. Oh, I think I was talking about, I asked it, was it cheating? And it was saying, no, everybody has a war room. He says, let's think of me as your war room. I'm just everything in one. I'm your analyst. I'm your booker. I'm your financial. I'm just going to give you the advice. You don't have to run with it. And you'll see, I certainly don't. There's some things that ChatGPT will say that I'm going to be like, nope. The one thing it doesn't like to do effectively is it doesn't like to use power cards real often or early when you should. So a lot of those decisions you're still making for yourself. Besides, if I'm cheating, people that run universe mode for real is cheating, because they don't do nothing. They let ChatGPT make all the decisions for them. Okay, so they'd be like, hey, here's my storyline. You need to run this way, and ChatGPT spits that stuff out. So I'm gonna bring that to you guys this year. Here in the first series that we're gonna do on WWE 2K Super Card, or I should say Super Card, WWE 2K 26. I think it would be fun. Now, there's some things I'll do because I don't want you guys to sit here and be bored to pieces. But I'll show you. I'll come back and show you what prompts that I did run, what I did ask ChatGPT to do, how I asked him to do it, because that all makes some sense, even down to me drafting my superstars. Okay, it's going to help me draft superstars. I'm going to tell it exactly what we need. And one cool thing about ChatGPT is it keeps track for you. Okay, so when you're doing this draft by yourself, you're trying to count in your head, you're counting down below if you went misstep, because you should have equal. And ChatGPT is gonna make sure your classes and your roles and heels and faces is all balanced. And then later down the line, when you're telling it things like, hey man, this is what's going on with this, and other thing, it's gonna run it down for you. Hey, here's what you currently have. This is the current situation. Here's what you need to do. So look out for that. I think I've rambled on long enough, but I just wanted to come and give you guys my 2 cents. I am still, I don't know if I'm the last one, but I'm going to call myself one of the last honest influencers or honest reviewers or honest YouTubers, whatever you want to call me. I am still out here doing the exact same thing with these games. I'm gonna tell you, buy it or don't buy it. And I'm gonna say, this is why I think you should, this is why I think you shouldn't. Of course, the ultimate decision is always up to you. But in the end, if you do decide to buy it, you won't ever come back and go, well, you know what? I was watching Cena's Corner and he came and told me that this game was bomb and it sucked. No, if the game is horrible, the game is horrible. And we're also going to do a series on this game I'm playing right now, Car Dealer Simulator. I had over 5 million until I went and bought cars. But I think I run this around so you have something to look at while I'm talking to you. But also you can see that I know what I'm doing. There is cats that's played this game longer than me. They've got $40 million, but they played it from the beginning. I just started playing this game about a week and a half ago. I'm already at full dealership with 4 million in the bank. So I'm going to walk you through some of the things that I've done. I'm going to walk you through some of the things that I don't agree with that other influencers is telling you. And I'm going to prove to you why I think that what they're saying is a bad situation. I'm never going to tell you this is bad without giving you some context behind why I think it is a bad decision or that you should do or you shouldn't do certain things. So look out for that, guys. Thank you for being patient with me. For the ones that have stuck around all these years, if you guys don't know, I've been gone for a number of years after the rock band scene dried up. I went with it. There was a lot of other things I was doing. I'm a podcaster now. True Crime Marvelous and Extraordinary People is the podcast I do solely by myself. I have a partner named Donna Humphrey who's great. We do a podcast called Extinguished, which that's going to be switching up. So look out for those. And I was just like, maybe nobody wants me to come back. And then 4,000 of you plus was still sticking around. I ran into some people in grocery stores saying, hey, man, I watch your channel a lot. Are you ever going to do anything to come back? So this is what I'm doing at this point, I think, to come back. I think I can aid better this way. Just showing you guys, hey, I'm like you guys. I play a lot of games and I want to play games with you and show you guys what I do, what I don't do, what I do like, what I don't like. Give you different ways of playing the game, like with ChatGPT. It's too early to do. I cannot back up today. Show you how that is. That gives you, I was bumping into my truck. There's another way that you can play this game, especially if you're like me. I play this game majority by myself. My son, who's now 16, a lot of you guys knew him when he was just being born, but Jacob's now 16. Yeah, he has a computer, but he wants to play what young people want to play, shooters and all that stuff. And I'm like, why don't you get on and play some of this with your dad? And he kind of looked at me, the guy was half crazy. Yeah, I don't want to play these kind of games. I don't know why. I don't want to sit here and take a car to the dealership. But that's young kids these days. I just kind of laugh at them because it's funny to me. But so yeah, check that out. We'll be back here soon, and we're gonna bring you the first video of WWE 2K25, as well as the first video for the series of Car Dealer Simulator. All right, guys, once again, I thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Listen to what I have to say. Let me know if you agree or disagree. As always, make sure you comment, post, subscribe, share this with your friend, and I'll see you guys the next time. So as always, peace, love, and keep rocking out, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.